The Russell Brand strip show. Excuse me. Number one, The Backgrounder. I'm tempted to subtitle this one The Amazing Life of Holy Cowboy Russell Brand. Well, let's begin with the general question. Who is Russell Brand? He's an actor and a cowboy. A cowboy, really? That last descriptor will make more sense quite soon. Just stick around. We have a cowboy on our hand, even though he's donned the halo of Christianity. No, he still likes to wear cowboy hats and boots. More on that later. Let's go to the beginning of his career. It is an interesting, turbulent one, isn't it? Full of mischief and naughtiness. Based on reports from the Italia Conti Academy of Theatre Arts and based on biographical information, Russell Brand was accepted into said academy in 1991 with his tuition funded by the Essex County Council. Isn't that nice? However, being an incurable bad boy, he was expelled after his first year due to poor attendance and illegal drug use. Apparently, he didn't care whether he acquired an education in acting or not. Perhaps he already knew that he wouldn't need a uni degree for his career. Perhaps it was all planned already, waiting to be fulfilled. Years later, he managed to do stand-up comedy gigs and work as an MTV UK presenter. Interesting, no uni degree, just raw talent. But he was fired from his MTV job in 2001 after bringing his brand of bad comedy to work, where he appeared dressed as Osama bin Laden on September 12th, the day after the 9/11 terror attacks. Why did he do that? To disrespect the dead and their families? I doubt it. Maybe he knew 9/11 was a hoax, and maybe he knew he would find work again elsewhere. Of course, he knew. Brand later blamed his erratic behavior on his struggles with crack and heroin addictions. How convenient. Evidence? No tracks on his arms, no hospital records, no methadone prescription records, no nothing. I am suspicious. We are dealing with an actor. Predictably, incredibly, Russell Brand established himself as a major television personality in the UK by hosting Big Brother spin-off shows between 2004 and 2007. No scandal can stop this man. Most notably, he starred in Big Brother's Big Mouth. A better nickname for Russell Brand is hardly possible. He is loud. 2006 to 2008, he hosted his own show, The Russell Brand Show, on BBC Radio 6. Yeah, he was back. Of course, he was back. And later on Radio 2, he resigned in 2008, following something called Zach's Gate, a controversy involving obscene phone calls made to comedy actor Andrew Sachs on October 18th, just 33 days after the financial crisis peaked on September 15th, 2008. Interestingly, Another Sachs, not Andrew Sachs, but Goldman Sachs, the financial giant, was likely responsible for the post-2008 financial crisis. Therefore, I suspect Brand deliberately called the wrong Sachs, if he called him at all. If anyone deserved obscenities, it was Goldman Sachs executives. Russell Brand was named, well, but don't wait for, don't let us not wait for Russell to make prank phone calls to Goldman Sachs executives. Um, he is, he can't even do what Jesus did, even though he's now playing the role. Kick out, well, you know where this goes. That silly story in the Bible of Jesus casting out those money changers, bankers, and somehow neglecting to prohibit the crimes of the banking cartels. What do we call that? Usury, fractional reserve banking, fiat currencies. No, don't wait for Russell to speak about such things. Um, Russell Brand was named Shagger of the Year by the British tabloid newspaper The Sun for 3 years straight, 2006 to 2008. There's a title to brag about. Shagger of the Year. I believe that means he can penetrate women, but can he give them orgasms? No prize exists for that talent. Brand often spoke openly about his promiscuity during this period, having once estimated he had sexual relationships with over 1,000 women, a testimony to his prowess as much as it is a testimony to the fallen state of our species. 2010, Russell Brand's Hollywood career saw a rapid, meteoric rise, followed by a shift away from mainstream film, marked by roles in comedies, mostly bad ones, all bad ones, such as Get Him to the Greek and Arthur. His co-star on Get Him to the Greek, Sean Diddy Combs, was charged with racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, charges he would be acquitted of while being found guilty of the lesser charge of transportation to engage in prostitution. It's a, it's a good crowd. It's a good crowd, yes, the Russell Brand crowd. 2010, Russell Brand published a bit of a autobiography, a little too early, prematurely. Title, My Bookie Wook. It sounds a little sordid. A memoir of sex, drugs, and stand-up. The New York Times best-selling autobiography, blah, blah, blah. Mentions a dog licking his ass while having sex. But no, he's been reformed since then. And of course, most of this might just be fiction anyway. Russell Brand performed at the horrible 2012 London Olympics closing ceremony, appearing on a psychedelic bus for a symphony of British music, dressed in a Willy Wonka again, just dealt with him. Willy, penis, Wonka, wonky, crazy penis. Anyway, he was dressed like Willy Wonka and sang a rendition of the Beatles' infantile song, I Am the Walrus, and Willy Wonka's infantile song, Pure Imagination. Both songs are insults to the intelligence of the billions of people who watched the Olympics. But then again, if you're really into the Olympics, I mean, really into it. Maybe, yes, maybe pure imagination is what you deserve. The Olympics, keeping alive the illusion that nations and nation states exist. The lyrics of Pure Imagination by Gene Wilder are really a mockery. I mean, to be sung at an event largely attended by adults, slightly insulting, embarrassing. I'll read a little part of these lyrics. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the chocolate room in Willy Wonka's factory. Hold your breath, make a wish, count to three. Well, yeah, he was talking to children, but the Olympics is not a children's event. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination, pure delusion, yes. Those who follow, Willy Wonka slash, what's his name again? Russell Brand. Yes, they enter a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin traveling in the world of my creation. Please, people, let's create our own world. Don't let these people spin their worlds around us. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Yes, paradise is in a chocolate factory again. Anything you want to do, do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. Just listen to Russell Brand and you'll be halfway to paradise. Indeed, not. In 2012, Russell Brand starred in his semi-personal movie documentary, Addiction to Recovery. Well, 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 yes, of course, they must have an addiction story and a rags to riches story. It's very appealing to people who like drama, pity, etc. Well, as I said, I haven't seen any evidence of his history of drug addiction. I need more than just words. And was there what one short clip in that movie of a younger Russell sitting in a corner, supposedly stoned or high? Or... Yes. 2013, RB. Russell transforms into Dennis the Menace, the great conspiracy master who wags his finger at the elites, winning over the hearts of down and out peasants as his videos go viral. How did he do that? He has connections, and his methods are diverse. Aside from finger pointing, he likes to criticize the media, but he never asks if the media's reports of wars, global warming, 9/11, the Holocaust, pandemics, and such are true or not. Nope. Let's not ask for real hands-on evidence. Just believe in the TV, in your screen, in a world of pure imagination. Uh, 2012, 2013, we have the Russell Brand X TV series. Russell Brand X. That is something curious. I have something special to share now. One moment. Where are you? Russell Brand X. Let me double check to see if I'm actually sharing. I am such a incompetent that I doubt I'm doing it right at the moment. Um, let's see. One have patience, please, patience. Where are you? There we go. Yeah. What was his show called? Brand X. Looks like that's very interesting and coincidental because cattle branded with an X often refer to the historic XIT ranch in Texas, where the brand representing 10 counties in Texas was used to identify ownership and prevent rustling. Brands like the long X or blah, blah, blah. So the primary purpose of branding is to distinguish herd ownership on open ranges and identify stolen cattle, a practice dating back some time. Well. Um, I think I have something else relevant to this. Um, Russell Brand. Yeah, let's talk about that interesting name. Huh. One moment. A cow rustler or cattle rustler is a person who steals livestock, specifically cattle, horses, or sheep, originating from the American West, maybe Texas included. Maybe not, but it's an American word. This term refers to thieves who often brand or gather stolen animals or practice a practice that continues today using modern tech. Interesting. Yeah. Are Russell Brand's followers stolen livestock? Are they being branded? By the way, there is a verb form of the noun rustler. It is rustle. Russell Brand. What are the odds of a man having two names, both of which refer to the cowboy profession? Hmm, not much chance at all of that being coincidental. And what else do we have for you? Oh, this is a very delicious tidbit. What else to call it? One moment. I wish I could just snap my fingers and make this work. There we go. There we have a branded cow. Yeah, that was done with a hot iron, or perhaps now with some kind of electric device, but in the past with hot irons. Well, I'm tempted to describe this or connect this to that old favorite biblical proverb, Bible proverb, the number of the beast. Too bad there isn't a 666 there, but yeah, well, there are. All cows can't have the same number. But is it possible that the author of Revelation had cow branding in mind, and that we, not Satan, but we are the beasts as we are being branded, identified, tagged? now digitally. No, not on our foreheads, as the Bible alleged, but yes, it's all symbolic anyway, isn't it? No, it's real. We're being tagged, branded by our good friend, by many people, of course, but Russell Brand is the man of the day today. I forgot to share one very good. Might as well share it now. One very good slide, just, you know, to remember the old Russell Brand before he converted. Um, Good grief, why is this so difficult? Where is my assistant, my secretary? Yeah, yeah. I guess this was one of the movies he starred in, getting him to the Greek. There is Russell flashing the devil's horns sign. Devil's horns. Of course, creatures with horns are typically prey for humans. So let's not, live in fear of horned characters. I think they are meant to represent prey. So I guess Satan is edible now. The devil is edible. And livestock. Who? Yeah, we're all devils. In their minds, they are the gods. Where is my script? All right. Actor and comedian Russell Brand hosts that late night comedy series, the Russell Brand X series, featuring Brand's unfiltered take on current events, politics, and pop culture. Hmm. Brand X would regularly feature David Icke, or Avid Dick, David Icke, Avid Dick. I'm not sure what the word game is there. Who would go on to endorse Russell on his davidicke.com, about whom more in another expose. Yes, we'll take care of David later, which was the EU and UK version of InfoWars. Then Russell Brand became cool with the conspiracy crowd. Russell appeared on Alex Jones several times, speaking about consciousness. Yep, he sold himself as an ex-Hollywooder, now turned insider truther. And before I forget, I should credit my good friend for a good deal of this script and for some of the inspiration, I suppose, for doing a good backgrounder. Well, I will continue the show that made it famous on Brand X. Oh, what was that about? Ah, I've never watched one. Let us let us be satisfied with that comment. He was married, wasn't he? I mean, I think he's married now, but he was married and divorced to Katy Perry. Um, she's recently, I think, done a performance in Las Vegas wearing some crazy bra with something resembling beer cans. I think I have some slides of that. I mean, she is another cowboy, I guess. Let's get a look at Katy Perry in her beer can bra. Well, don't get too excited. It's not even clear. But please note, she is with a giant rat. And we'll have more about rats in a moment. Um, in the next slide, um, she is busy um, pouring, well, I don't know if is that Red Bull, but it's meant to be beer out of her boob bra into a cup for this giant rat whose giant phallic tail is hmm, over her lap, seemingly. Yeah, it's a good crowd to be with. These pop celebrities taking us all down the path of not thinking. All right. I think I have some more exciting stuff. In 2014, our dear cowboy, Russell Brand, published a children's book, quote unquote, titled The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Russell, well, maybe we'll listen to that. It's very brief. Please endure. And let's see. Oh, wait. Don't start reading yet. It's nice how he responds so well to my polite requests.
Pied Piper by me, illustrated by Chris Bedell, the amazing satirist.
Ooh, those eyes. Hmm. Children must be falling over in fear of you. I don't know. You're perfectly dressed for a children's presentation.
This extract is about when the rats arrive in Hamley, a town of people that, well, I don't much like. There's an allegorical component. Allegory just means story. It was as if some magical being who lives in the sky, in the trees, the rivers, and beneath our thoughts knew the people of Hamley were no good. For on this day, their most cherished day, without warning, a gang of rats bowled into the town and began causing a right rumpus. I assure you these were no ordinary rats. They were as big as cats and afraid of nothing. They were oily and slick and wore eye patches and carried flick knives and could machine gun butt pellets out of their egg holes whenever they fancied. Even though they called themselves an anarcho-egalitarian rat collective, that means
An anarcho-egalitarian rat collective. That's a mouthful for children. Fortunately, Russell will explain what it means for them.
there's no rules and no one's in charge.
No rules and no one's in charge. I mean, no one in charge is fair enough definition of an anarcho collective, but no rules, maybe none written, but anarchists can be people of good conscience and generally are. Conscience has rules, and not only rules for how we treat each other, but um, rules for how we treat this planet, how we treat our children.
In reality, Casper was in charge. He had too much fur on his body and none on his head. He looked like a pink egg made of skin in a Turkish wrestler's armpit.
The Turks will not be pleased to hear that, nor Turkish wrestlers especially. He's making some Serious enemies.
His constant attendants were a pair of ratty twins, Gianna and Paul, who were both his wives. In anarcho-egalitarian rat collective,
Mm.
polygamy, more than one wife, is common. It's not as common for one of the wives to be male, but these rats were real badasses.
That's funny. So we've got a male rat married to a female rat and to a male rat. Yes, and so there must be some anal sex happening. Hence, hence the term badasses. Oh, these people are so funny.
They lived mostly on land, but they were like hairy little villains of the sea. Pirates!
Oh, pie dash rats. He found a little quasi pun, maybe. Rats. And they are also pirates. That is clever. Almost good enough for a children's book. Um, it rang some bells for me. Let me share some new slides that will be of interest, hopefully. Pie rats. Well, look at what we have here. Rat pie is a historical, often desperate food dish from Victorian Britain, where skinned and cleaned rats were cooked like rabbit, usually paired with pork, fat, and pastry. Hmm. The food theme, the eating animals theme, raises, rears its head again, or already. Let's see what else I can rustle up for us. Did I forget something? Perhaps I did. Well, no worries. It's probably somewhere else. Um, I'll continue with my script, my mostly carefully planned script. Right. So, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. We've got the pie, rat pie. There's the food theme. In addition, the name Hamelin, starts with the first three letters are ham. Coincidence? Perhaps. Hmm. By the way, the Pied Piper, strange name, isn't it? Pied. We have the word pie again. Coincidence? Perhaps. Um, Piper. If you add an E, peeper, you get peeper. And that's colloquial Dutch for potato. More food. Pied potato pie. Um, the original folktale of the Pied Piper of Hamelin is also highly suspect. It's really not the best choice for a children's book. Uh, I mean, he titled his entire book. It's after that one folk tale, a folk tale that would terrify children. It's about, well, it ends with 130 children disappearing into a cave and never being seen again by their parents. Yeah. Well, after the Pied Piper rid the town of Hamelin, the Hamelites um, rid them of rats. The people refused to pay him, so the Pied Piper took their children to a cave. What happened to them inside that cave? Dare I say, every man must eat Well, yeah, the citizens didn't pay him, so he took their children and never gave them back again. I mean, if he really wanted just money, he would have demanded a ransom. He didn't. So I assume he ate them. Him and his friends, I mean, 130 children. It's more than one man can eat. Needless to say, Russell Brand is himself a Pied Piper, the cowboy who misleads his followers from one pasture to the next, and finally into a dark cave. I guess it's the cave of Christianity. And while we're on the subject of misleading children and treating them as sheep, edible livestock, why do you think they gave us the word kids for our children? Kids are young goats also, and young goats are food. Um, a little more despelling, if that's a word. If we treat the CH in children as a hard K, as it is in words like chaos, then children becomes children, which sounds a little like cauldron. Are these the word games they encoded in the English language? And let's not forget rugrats, dehumanizing our children. Rugrats would be fit for rat pie, I suppose. But let's move on. Russell experienced the meteoric rise from Hollywood X to now Insider. He launched a world tour and YouTube podcast called True World Order, a 2015-2016 live stand-up comedy tour and follow-up to Russell Brand's YouTube series, The Trues. The Trues, spelled Trews. It's really, I suppose, truth misspelled. Hint, hint, if it's misspelled, it's really not the truth. Plus, when it's spelled Trews, it sounds like T-ruse, and we know what a ruse is. It's a scheme, a deceitful scheme. Hint, hint, again, the words are so important. Um, the logo of the Trues was also worth commenting on. One moment. Share my new slide, please. Abracadabra. There we go. Now, is that a German Shepherd or a wolf? A wolf paired with Russell. What's he saying about himself? Is he the wolf? The uh, the predator, the carnivore? Hmm. Or is he just a shepherd? A hairy shepherd? Could be. Maybe that logo was inspired by another. He must know about this one. One moment. Abracadabra. This was the Fabian Society's logo or family shield. It has the image of a wolf carrying a sheep on its back, or carrying a sheep skin on its back, so it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know the idiom, Isn't Russell Brand a lamb in, no, a wolf in now in lamb's clothing, Jesus the lamb, or a wolf in shepherd's clothing? Perhaps. Perhaps it's all coincidence. Um, I think during his heyday as a political activist, he told people to tactical vote Labor, although he earlier maintained that voting didn't work. Yeah, he's always misleading. Of course, it's misleading to vote for any of those wolves in sheep clothing. And not voting doesn't work either. There's much more to be done than simply not voting. In 2025, David Icke and Russell Brand, longtime friends, suddenly had a spat. Um, I call it the conspirator soap opera. Please don't waste your time on these actors. Russ, David Icke. Making light of child abuse in 2026. This is good. Not so good. Really not good. One moment. This is another short clip to be shared in a virtual moment. There we go. Jeffrey and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein. I was raped 3 times a day, sometimes. I've been in hell and back. Bloody hell, sounds pretty rough. Did she say hell or hull there? That seems like a frivolous question to ask when a woman is speaking about her history of child sexual abuse. So that wasn't clear. Given the choice, I'm going to take hell. Have you ever been to Hull? Charlie was seeing their dad at the weekend. He lives in Hull. For the last 17 years. 27 for me. I was 10 years old. Oh, God. Is that a genuine expression of outrage or good acting? Oh, gee. If she was 10. It would be okay if she was 12. What's he saying? It's just like an entertainment story. The children of our kids' ages. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Maybe you should just said it will turn into a big crazy war. I'm sick of these institutions. Hmm. But he's been accused of some sexual misdemeanors himself. He's sick of these institutions, these people not so different from himself. Um, Unredact some of the files. You encountered more redactions. Thomas Massey just saw the unredacted Epstein files. He says there are redactions on top of redactions. This gets quite funny. And the poor woman gets lost. But, well, how poor is she? Let's have a look. Her name, Sarah Ransom. Sarah Ransom. That's a curious name to have. I think I have some notes on that. Oops. Oops. Abra. Cadabra. Sarah. Um, what does it mean? Comes from the Hebrew name Sarah, meaning lady, princess, noblewoman. That means she's one of them. They don't rape their own kind. No, they don't. One more note. What about that name, Ransom? Hmm? It's the most curious last name to have. I am I sharing? Please. There we go. Ah! Shared the wrong one. Bear with my incompetence. There we go. Ransom from ransoon. Some paid for the release of a prisoner or captured man. I don't think any money was, well, I don't know her story so well. But it also, ransom also means redemption from damnation. Hmm. Redemption. Redemption from damnation. Well, I guess she survived 17 years of daily rapes. She was redeemed at the age of 27. Is that the message here? Well, it seems a little too coincidental, these most curious names. And they seem to message, tell us not to trust what we are told. Um, let's see. Um, let's get to the present time, the Iran war. In Russell Brand's recent podcast, The Media's Iran War Propaganda Exposed, Russell couldn't resist hinting at the truth in a manner he knew his fans would ignore. In that commentary on the media's coverage of the ongoing Iran war, he showed that news anchors from left and right-wing media outlets are reading the same script, or versions of the same script, which he presented. Am I sharing my own face right now? I wonder, what am I sharing? Yes, I am. All's well. Wouldn't want people to miss seeing me. Um, He showed that news anchors from left and right-wing media outlets are reading the same script or versions of the same script, which he presented as a reason to suspect media bias, obviously. Although, when different media outlets uh, essentially read the same script, that also raises questions about the entire war. Is it real? Who else is faking? If the media is faking, what about intelligence agencies? What about the military? You don't say that's possible. Well, in any case, Russell does not raise that possibility. He must keep us living in fear and outrage. That is his job as a wrestler and brander. In that same podcast, he mentioned Jean Baudrillard, an esoteric postmodern philosopher no one reads. Why did Russell Brand quote him? Almost none of his fans will know Baudrillard or his general view that, if I recall correctly, reality is unknowable. How ironic when the people, Baudrillard included, are ensuring that we don't know reality. Baudrillard and other cowboys, keeping their livestock ignorant. That is not revolutionary thinking. Reality is unknowable is a very old concept in philosophy and religion. But for them to invent this idea that reality is unknowable is sheer mockery. It's the insiders mocking us, the outsiders. But Baudrillard presented his old idea about reality with sufficient new verbiage and new concepts to make it seem radical and new. So, is the Iran war real? Ah, what will Russell say? Nothing on that question. Did you go there and meet injured survivors or bury the dead? In the past, many Iraqis and Syrians fled the Middle East for the West, but were any of them injured or traumatized? I met some, Iraqis and Syrians, but none were injured or traumatized. As far as I know, like Westerners, Middle Eastern refugees rely on the media for information about the wars in their countries and were terrified by images and words. Hmm. Well, one more special, very special slide. Where are you? This one. Well, I'll let you judge for yourself what this means. I think I mentioned or I foreshadowed this slide earlier at the start of this little show. There we have Russell Brand wearing a cowboy hat, and I suspect he's wearing cowboy boots. There are many, many photos available of him wearing various cowboy hats and cowboy boots. What's an Englishman doing wearing American cowboy wear? It doesn't make sense unless this is all part of a inside joke. Is that possible? Are we being pranked by some very, very sinister people? Say it isn't so. No, I think it's so. In light of my analysis, I suspect Russell Brand was always intended to become a shepherd cowboy. Shepherd because he's now a Christian preacher, like the good Lord Jesus and his apostles. And this means the man's entire life is a ruse, which means Russell Brand is a lifetime actor. Well, how do you like that? I hope I've stripped Russell fully and effectively, entertainingly, maybe. Let's share a new one. My last slide. I got to remind people that there is more good stuff available by me, not only on YouTube and BitChute and FakeOTube, but quite another place. It's making it very difficult, this abracadabra game. If anyone wants to contact me, they can by emailing me here at the Prophet of Fiction or just Prophet of Fiction at proton.me. There's my book list for people who still like to read. Most of the material in these books will not appear in my shows. And frankly, there's too much there. And yes, presently it's possible to request PDFs of these books. They are a bit longish to print and mail. I'm already in excess of 1.5 million words with these 6 little little books. Well, enough for today. Everyone, be well. and stay away from cowboys.